CCTV footage from the respondent's site, Fuller's, trading as Griffin Catering Services Limited, the Barrowboy and Banker, from the 2nd of April 2025 from around 16:29 in the afternoon. Now, I was forced to request this footage during the respondent's disciplinary process via a subject access request because the respondent was deliberately refusing to share this footage with me for reasons that play out and become clear in this presentation. All the respondent sent was a photograph of a CCTV monitor showing a still image of this footage that showed the date and time that I have just stated. Despite Arit Tunk, the complainant, stating in his testimony that the site wasn't busy and there was nothing to do, I am clearly seen in this footage of 1 minute and 22 seconds, clearly busy, moving at pace, cleaning the bar, removing debris, and keeping the bar clean and tidy, essentially doing what was expected of all bar staff who worked for the respondent and in line with the hourly rate that staff were paid. Colleague Dennis is seen bottom right of the screen, leaning against the till. Arit Tunk is seen leaning against the bar counter, as is Kamara Greenridge Reed, further up the bar. The footage clearly shows I am the only one on the front line out of 4 team members willing to engage and serve customers while cleaning away debris and keeping the bar tidy. While my knowledge of this day and the footage here shows that these allegations made by Arit are vexatious, unfounded and made entirely in bad faith, his narrative of the alleged incident does play out in CCTV. Highly probable he, Kamara and Naveen were shown the CCTV footage prior to making his complaint, to which Arit states, "Out of nowhere, a customer came to the bar and handed his glass to William. William turned to me while walking towards the glass washer and said, quote, 'People from your country are lazy. Might as well go back to your country.'" Oh, I'm already past Arit before I could even finish reading the alleged statements, let alone say it in real time, because this footage is also on slow motion at 0.5x. How on earth can I say all of that in real time? And in Arit's statement, he says, before walking off like nothing happened, because in between these two quotes that Arit states, and then he added, before concluding, before walking off like nothing happened, implying that whilst walking towards him, as he states, that I paused, stopped, made a further statement, as he quotes, before walking off on my way, where the CCTV footage clearly shows that did not happen. I didn't stop, I didn't pause. If anything, I passed him at quite a speedy pace. In additional testimony, Arit goes on to state, quote, "On that day, a guy brought a glass back and handed a glass to William directly. William says, quote, 'People from your country are lazy. Maybe you should go back,' end quote. Kamara and I looked at each other and just started laughing, so assume she heard it." Assume is a very interesting word to use, because in a pub with no carpets, as the CCTV shows, a former bank headquarters with high ceilings, large industrial-sized windows in a Grade 2 listed building, marble and stone staircases with wooden tiled floors, and not a single carpet means the acoustics make it a noisy sight, even with a moderate to low level of customers. Here is an audio taken from a video from the till behind the bar with the same level of customers on the 2nd of April 2025 that was sent to me by a colleague. Then you have to factor in music on top, and more importantly, how I was alleged to have made these statements while walking towards Arit, while walking away from Kamara, with my face and mouth in the direction of Arit. Sound travels forward in this context, not backwards, especially when walking away from someone with your back to them. It is incredibly unlikely Kamara would have heard any such remarks as alleged, especially as counting the paces in the CCTV footage and marking them out on the floor measures around 13 foot, which is 4 meters, between Kamara and Arit. I will attempt to read the alleged statement while the CCTV plays at normal speed. The statement will appear on the screen when there appears to be a window of opportunity when such statement could have been said, as alleged by both Arit and Kamara. People from your country are lazy. Oh, it's gone. I can't even read it quick enough in the time frame that I'm supposed to have said it. It just, makes no sense. Going back to what I have just highlighted with regards to Kamara, she comes forward to give witness testimony where she states, "Me and Arit were at the bar. All I saw was someone walk past me and make a comment. Quote, 'You people are lazy. Why don't you go back to your country?' See, I'm struggling because the English is not good. Didn't know how to react. Smiled uncomfortably." The evidence actually supports that these allegations and testimony are unfounded, malicious, vexatious, and made entirely in bad faith because 1. I never made such a comment. 2. CCTV shows with exceptional clarity my mouth and lips are not moving at the time of the alleged statement. 3. CCTV shows there was not enough time to pass such a lengthy statement or statements as alleged by both and by Naveen, who wasn't even on site. Additionally, Arit stated in his statement, quote, "Ershad found it on CCTV when it happened and can see him saying it." Him being myself, saying it is the alleged statement. But I think at this point, I've proven that I didn't say it because not only do I know that it was never said and wasn't said and is not something I would say, the CCTV does not support the allegations, nor the witness testimony. Well, let's take a closer look at the CCTV. While engaging with a customer, my lips and mouth are seen to be moving while engaging with the customer returning his empty glasses. It must be noted, this is seen from the furthest viewpoint in this entire CCTV footage with exceptional clarity. Then, my mouth is slightly ajar, no doubt breathing as per the pace I had been moving at and the fact I was the only one working while 3 others remained sedentary. But my mouth shows no movement, no words spoken as alleged, nor as Arit claims, quote, "can see him saying it," end quote. Let's double the playback speed even slower to 0.1x. There I am smiling to the customer, most likely saying thank you for returning his glass, but just pause 1 minute. Does the respondent not feel slightly embarrassed that while trying to level these allegations at me, even though they've not proved anything in this footage, are they not slightly embarrassed that they've got 3 members of staff at the bar, Dennis, Kamara, Arit, claiming that there's nothing to do when the customer clearly has just returned 2 empty half-pint glasses to the bar, and there's 3 of them stood there doing nothing? It's just common sense, no? Is the respondent not embarrassed? They're paying 3 people to stand and do nothing. It makes no sense. Anyway, let's continue. Mouth slightly ajar, not moving, it's not moving. Walk into redacted area, which at normal speed lasts for 0.6 seconds. So just over half a second, my face is obscured by this redacted blur. Emerge from the redaction and my mouth is in the exact same position, not moving, hadn't moved, and then I pass Arit. Arit then looks at Kamara like he states. The CCTV footage the respondent claims supports theirs and Arit's allegations does not. What it clearly shows is both Arit and Kamara have lied, as has Milan, Naveen and Ershad. Now, let's zoom in on my mouth at the same slow speed of 0.1x. My mouth's not moving. It's in the same position, not moving. And at normal playback speed of the footage, from starting my journey at the end of the bar where I pick up the empty glasses to take them to the glass wash room to passing Arit is a total of 2.3 seconds. 2.3 seconds to have allegedly made these lengthy statements and make them without moving my mouth, without moving my lips. It's just ridiculous. What can I say? The respondent deliberately refused to send me this footage ahead of the disciplinary hearing because they knew it did not support the allegations made by Mr. Bullman, their investigating officer, who upheld Arrett's claims, nor those made by Arrett, Kumara, Millen, who was not even on site, and witness Naveen, who also was absent from the location the entire day. You can't make this up. It is evident that the respondent's decision to only provide a photograph of the CCTV footage as a still image displayed on a monitor was a calculated attempt to confuse me, provoke panic, and coerce my resignation through gaslighting. Remarkably confident that I would never make such a statement, their plan ultimately failed when I didn't panic but challenged their evidence. Further, the respondent claimed it would show me the footage in a controlled environment, which directly contravenes ACAS's guidelines on the disclosure of evidence in disciplinary hearings. According to these rules, all evidence, including documentary evidence such as CCTV, must be shared ahead of any hearing to ensure fairness. The respondent's intention appeared to be to gaslight me during the disciplinary hearing by presenting the footage for the very first time, thereby denying me the opportunity to scrutinise and challenge it in advance. This underhand and deliberate tactic prevented me from critically analysing the footage as I have done here in this presentation, undermining the principles of transparency and fair process, and you have to ask why. Further, Mr. Hughes stated that he had to rely on the, quote, balance of probabilities, end quote, when making his decision, noting that whether or not he was qualified or able to do so is largely irrelevant at this stage. He claims to have viewed the CCTV footage as evidence to support the claims made by all parties involved, the complainant, witnesses, and Mr. Bullman, who upheld the allegation after reviewing the footage. However, this footage clearly shows that the alleged statements were not made, which should logically result in the allegations not being upheld. It is therefore problematic for Mr. Hughes and the respondent to dismiss this evidence and continue to rely on the balance of probabilities, particularly when the CCTV footage itself does not support such a standard. As this presentation demonstrates, the allegations cannot be substantiated on the balance of probabilities, given that the exceptionally clear images of this CCTV footage prove the allegations to be entirely false. Just because the respondent does not like nor want to accept the outcome of the evidence, specifically that I did not make the alleged statements and that the complainant and witnesses were consequently exposed as having lied, does not entitle them to disregard it. If so, then the evidence clearly suggests that Mr. Hughes was directed by Fuller's, trading as Griffin Catering Services Limited, the respondent, to reach a predetermined conclusion on that would inevitably result in my dismissal, as it so did. It is highly likely this instruction came from members of the people teams, notably Mr. Andrew Sharwood-Naglaski, Operations Manager Damien Isaacs, and or manager of the site and close friend of Arrett and Kumara, Ershad Muffajubi. Further substantiating this claim is the respondent's documented treatment of me over the last 7 months, which includes refusals to transfer me to alternative sites, blocking transfers, and ongoing exposure to racism, discrimination, victimization, harassment, and bullying. These circumstances have been comprehensively detailed in my Employment Tribunal claim, which was submitted in January 2025, constituting a protected act, to which, it seems, the respondent appears to have retaliated through this unfair dismissal and defamatory claims of me being a racist and a sexual pervert/predator.